Here's something that most candidates don't know. Recruiters don't just pick the most qualified person to get the job. They pick the person who checks a few very specific boxes. In today's video, I'm going to tell you how recruiters decide who gets the job. Let's go. So I've been in recruitment for 15 years, and I can tell you, so many people think I am the most qualified for this job. I have the best resume, I will get hired. That's really not how it works. Recruiters do not look at the resume and go, this person has the best experience. We should hire this person. Let's push for this person to be the person who gets the offer or advance to the final stages. People think that's how it works. It's not actually how it works. What most candidates don't know is that recruiters are going to push for the person who they feel is the lowest risk when it comes to joining the team. Now, whenever a recruiter is talking to you, looking at your resume, they're asking themselves one very specific question. Does this person match what the hiring manager told me that they are looking to hire? Now, that doesn't necessarily line up one for one with the job description. You look at the job description, it says one thing, but the reality is sometimes those job descriptions are old. They were created by not the hiring manager, but somebody in HR, and sometimes years and years ago. So if you look at that and go, I have the best experience, I clearly line up as the best candidate, that doesn't necessarily align with what the hiring manager is looking for. Your resume is what gets you in the door. Your alignment is what gets you the job offer. Okay, so you align with what the hiring manager wants. What's next? What is the next thing that recruiters are looking for? The next thing that recruiters are looking for is speed and responsiveness. Now, what does that mean? Okay, you applied for a role and a recruiter reaches out to you. How quickly do you actually respond to them? How flexible are you when it comes to scheduling the interview? The reality is, recruiters are going to look at applicants, they're going to choose a handful of people they think are going to be a good fit, and they meet what the hiring manager said they want. Then they're going to reach out to them and try to move them through the process as quickly as possible. If you are one of those people, the difference between you getting hired and not getting hired might be, are you the person who responded right away, or are you the person who took days and days to respond? And then from there, additional days and days to coordinate getting your interview done. Recruiters look at your speed at which you respond and the speed at which you schedule that interview as indicators of interest. They want to move forward with a candidate who is more interested because they are more likely to accept an offer. It doesn't matter how good of a fit you are. If you take forever to schedule those steps and move through the process, recruiters are going to immediately assume you are not that interested, therefore you are a risk. Hey, if you go to the comments, you'll find my free interview prep checklist. That is to make sure you're doing everything you need to do prior to an interview to make sure you succeed. So go down there and get it for free. And if you like this video, hit the like button. It helps my channel a ton. Okay, so now the next thing that recruiters are looking for is they're looking for cultural and team fit. The reality is, you look at a resume, there is a lot of things you do not see that make a huge difference on whether or not someone's going to be a good fit for the team. Now, I can tell you, in general, recruiters are looking for someone who is friendly, someone who is warm, somebody who is inquisitive, somebody who seems like they'd be collaborative based on their communication style, right? Because generally speaking, that means this person's going to be a good person to work with. Hiring managers want someone who is going to be a good teammate. In 15 years of talking with hiring managers, I have never heard a hiring manager say to me, even a single time, Ben, I want a bad teammate. So one of the things that we're looking for when we're talking to you is, are you someone who is warm? Are you someone who is friendly? Are you someone who is asking the recruiter, how's your day going? Little things like that actually make a huge difference because hiring is an exercise in risk mitigation. As much as it is finding an amazing person, it's also about avoiding risk. And somebody who's going to be a good fit for the team and collaborate well with others and play nice in the sandbox is like really high on the list of priorities when it comes to screening people. Now, another huge factor candidates overlook is candidate story. Recruiters are storytellers, okay? So when I tell a hiring manager about you as a candidate, is the story compelling? Can I sell you? Can I position you as a candidate that's going to make the hiring manager go, yes, that seems like a really interesting candidate. I am interested in talking to that person. If your story is all over the place, scattered, lacking details, it's going to make it really hard to sell why you're a good fit to the hiring manager. So when you're talking to the recruiter, you want to talk about the things you've accomplished. You want to have a cohesive story. You want it to be making a lot of sense to them, be concise and impactful. That's what you need to accomplish. Now, recruiters are also looking for enthusiasm and buy-in, okay? At the end of the day, every hiring manager wants someone who wants their job, and every recruiter wants to submit a candidate who seems like they are excited about the job. Passion matters, Energy matters, enthusiasm matters. These are things that actually matter to the recruiter and the hiring manager. If they get the sense that you are one of those people who is just applying to hundreds of jobs and their job isn't meaningful for you, they're going to pass on you and go with someone who actually demonstrates interest. Look, I tell people these things all the time. So many people are just focused on, am I qualified for the role? But people don't make decisions like that. Hiring managers don't make decisions like that, and recruiters definitely do not make decisions like that. And another thing that really factors in is, are you likable? And I know people don't always love this advice, but the reality is, if after an interview you would have been described as having a good personality, you are 12 times more likely to get the job than if they would not describe you that way. And it's why I made this video here. This video here is how to immediately make the people interviewing you like you, so you can get a job offer. I will see you over there.